Hello and welcome to this webcast today about international students at the University of Sunderland. My name is Matthew Gallagher and I work in the international team. A fifth of our student population at the university is international students. We have 100 different nationalities at the university. This year we enrolled 1,000 university students, so it's a big part of our operations and what we do here. So I'm pleased to invite and welcome you to our panel. So Brian is the President of Activities at the University of Sunderland Students' Union. To Brian's right, we have Sondos Al-Mala, who's studying English, and Sondos is from Egypt. And we also have Sarketh Polla, who is studying business. We're here today to discuss and to have a little conversation about international students at the university. Okay, let's get things started. So, first question to the panel is just quite a general one, is about coming to the University of Sunderland. So I will start with Sarketh, as you're to my left here. What were you doing beforehand?
All right. So actually I was working before. So after my graduation, I was working in a startup. And then I had an experience of working in my father's business. Okay. And then I was like, okay, I need to improve my knowledge and skills in terms for studying business. Yeah. So that's the reason I chose to study in the university. And why Sunderland? Because it's beautiful in here, because I love a countryside place, and then it's very close to the beach.
So you heard some really nice things about the university.
Yes.
Excellent. So did you do like an undergraduate course in India before that, or what was the process of coming to the university?
Yes. So I was doing my undergrad in hospitality. And then I applied. And
during the application process, did you have any assistance with the application process and coming to the university?
Yes. So I actually did my research in terms of like how was the process, but I applied through IDP, and then the agent helped me out in terms of like the application and moving it forward.
Brilliant. So we'll come on to some of the ways of applying to the university and how different agents, and we have our online application and online system which helps students to come to the university, which we'll come on to later. So Sondos, just taking that question to you. So is it very similar to Sarketh? What are the reasons why you chose to come to the university, and what were you doing beforehand?
Well, I was doing my undergrad as well back in Egypt, and then because of my university, you can choose like a major and a minor, so I was doing like several different courses at the time, and one of them was in English, so I decided like I wanted to take it forward after that. And I was looking in several like places other than the UK, but the UK was one of the easiest places, honestly, to apply to. And Sunderland, by chance, I had a friend of mine back at university who did a summer course here. And he was the one who really recommended like the city and how like it was very student friendly, and like it was a place to like actually focus on studying, and it doesn't have that much of a city kind of atmosphere, so you can really focus on what you're trying to do and what you're trying to achieve. And in terms of applying, I did have an agent help, but everything was like really going smooth. Was one of the easiest things that I've did, like trying to apply and stuff. Because I tried like applying to different places, it wasn't as easy at all.
That's good to know that we helped you with your process.
It does.
So I guess for the pair of you, so did you consider any other countries when you were coming to the UK, or was it just the UK that you wanted to apply for?
No, I was honestly considering like around Europe to an extent, but it wasn't as easy. Like I've tried several countries before, even like taking courses throughout the summer and stuff, but it didn't really work out. Like it's very hard to like approach a certain university or have them like reply in like certain times, but having an agent really helped as well. But it was a lot easier. Like in terms of language even, it's not that much of a barrier.
As an English student, that's pretty good to have.
Yeah.
That's the thing I will come on to later, because I want to ask you all actually how English helps you, so how your English has developed whilst you've been studying here. So we'll come on to that later on. But so what about yourself, Sarketh? Did you consider any other destinations before you came to?
Similarly, like I was actually planning for Europe as well, and then Canada. But if you see like the education here, like considering like because I'm doing masters, then like everywhere else it is 2 years, and here it's only 1 year, and you get 1 year plus the placement. So it's quite like more practical. So you actually learn and then you try to implement in your working space. So that's the reason why I chose UK.
So with your course, just to make it clear to our viewers, your course, it's the MBA with placement. So you have the opportunity to do the MBA program for 1 year, and then the university will help you find a placement afterwards. So it's 2 years in the UK.
Yes.
So that's one of the attractive reasons you came to study in the UK as well.
Yeah.
Excellent. That's really good to know. So we're talking about obviously lots of different choices, not just in the UK but globally in terms of coming and finding either an undergraduate or a postgraduate course. So in the end, why did you choose Sunderland over another university? I'll start with you, Saketh.
All right. Sunderland, because like one of my cousin graduated here, and then he suggested me that, okay, it's a beautiful university, the campus is loving, and like and that's the reason why the first option I was like, okay, let me first go to Sunderland. And then the other factors, like in terms of other activities, and because like not just education, like even sports, I'm into sports. Yeah. So I also like have enrolled myself in the swim team. So I even like not just focusing on my education as well. So I try to be fit as well. And
so tell us about just briefly the swimming team that you're on. We have the aquatic centre here in Sunderland, which is Olympic size swimming facility very close to our St Peter's campus and the Stadium of Light. So there's a link between the university and the aquatic centre which you utilise, is that right?
yes, that's right.
Very good indeed. And what about yourself, Sondra? So with all the choice that you have, a library of different institutions globally, each having really good facilities, or they might have different options and different strengths. How did you get through all of that noise, and how did you find the University of Sunderland?
Well, one of the really big reasons was the 1 year studying course as well. It's like a big plus because I've been doing my undergrad for 5 years, so I don't want to spend like extra 2 more years still like studying and then starting work.
So if you considered the United States or Canada, for example, then your course would be 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years and over actually. So it was really helpful to like have a short span of time and as well finish like my studying. Also, I had a few friends who were doing their undergrad here in the UK specifically. So the experience is overall told to me by several people. I've been to the UK before and I really like the atmosphere and I like know the people here and how they are, and it's just like it was a better choice to go somewhere that's more familiar than going somewhere and just discovering everything all over from scratch. So that was another plus. We
visit students all over the world, and what we find is that the links from here in the UK, you can get anywhere. So you can go to Africa in 5 hours. Egypt, is just 5 hours away as well. India, well connected as well. A little bit further, but well connected. So I think that's a real positive about the university, and having that UK education is not too far away from anywhere, which is good. Okay, so come to you now, Brian. We talked about the different activities and stuff at the university, and which a lot of that's actually driven by the Students' Union. So what events and activities are arranged for international students and any other student who comes to the university?
I think, first of all, I would like to make it clear that the Students' Union, we do a lot with societies, and sports is with the university. So if you come to the university and you're interested in doing sports, you have to go down to Team Sunderland because they handle everything around sports. But if you're interested in joining a society, or say you're international, you want an Indian society, you can come down to the SU, set up an Indian society, get everyone on campus that's from India to be part of the society. And if you're not Indian, you're fine with being part of the society. You can be part of the society. So we have societies. In terms of activities during the Welcome Week, we normally have international students pizza party. So that's a chance for you to come in, meet different people from different nationality, Nigerians, people from the Caribbeans, people from Egypt, people from Malaysia, different people will always be there. Even you get British people as well. So it's a good chance for you to integrate, meet other people, make some networks and people you could potentially go to different events with. And then aside from that, we normally have our SU socials, which we did one yesterday, which was around games night. There was about 20 people that came down just to play Jenga, play PS4, board games and all that stuff, had pizza, had a good time, and then you go home. So we do like SU socials and things like that for people to come around, socialize. I mean,
So I think the idea of that is so that students who come from not just the UK, not just Europe, but from all over the world, they get to meet new friends. That's a big part of coming to to the UK or coming to somewhere different for their education. So when students come to the UK, when they start at the University of Sunderland, what sort of things does the Students' Union organise and arrange to help with that? So to help with international students get to know one another. Obviously, we have the Freshers' Week activities. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
The Welcome Week activity, like the International Pizza Party, is just something we actually started doing 2 years ago, and it's quite popular amongst the Welcome Week events we do. So it's really good for international students. We get a lot of people coming. I think the main thing is because when you come on campus, sometimes people find it hard to get a sense of belonging, and that's why the SU is there, to give you that sense of belonging, to give you that identity on campus. So everything from setting up a society to coming to the event to using some of the services we have is all part of the university experience, I think.
So, and another way is that international students can access the Students' Union, and a good way of sort of, if they're feeling homesick, if they're feeling like they want to make friends, that the University Students' Union has a buddy system, is that right?
Yeah, we've got an SU buddy scheme, so that's it's like a way that if you come, you're fresh, you're new, you get to, they pair you up with someone else that might be from your nationality or might not be from your nationality, might be British, just someone else that knows their whereabouts. They can take you around, show you the good, friendly places. We also have a city venues guide that shows you friendly places on the city to go to. So we have things like that that can help you, settle in or feel at home while you're away from home.
Well, you know that if there's, if you do, want to make new friends and you want to have some people to speak to, then the Students' Union's there to do that. So I think it's a really good initiative set up by you guys. What about yourself, Sigurd? So obviously you've got the sports stuff and you're swimming. So is that how you've made friends and acquaintances on campus?
Yes, that's right. Also, as he mentioned in terms of the buddy system, right? So when I applied, I got a buddy, and so that person was British, and then like in the first few weeks, like it was amazing. And then like right now, I'm a buddy to an upcoming student. So it's good, yeah.
Who's just starting now, yeah?
Yeah.
Really good, that's excellent. I think it's it just gives you that confidence to get to know people, and because I think it's when you go to somewhere you've never been before, which a lot of our international students do, they might not have been to the UK, they might not have been to Sunderland specifically, just someone to take them around, show them the local sites. We've got a beautiful coastline here in Sunderland, which I'm sure you've all had the chance to explore, and maybe been to get some fish and chips, for example. But someone to be able to show you that and to give you the confidence to explore the city.
And I also think one thing that does as well is also taking you away from that isolation and loneliness, because we know that can be a big thing, especially when you come to a new environment. You're not here with your family, your brothers and sisters aren't here. You probably need to make new friends. And for a lot of people, or for some people, that's a big challenge. So having that SU buddy in place that gives you that confidence, you don't need to go out there, just someone to speak to, build your confidence up. Now you're an SU buddy. I think that's the whole point of it, isn't it?
That's what it's all about, isn't it? Okay, so I've got a few more questions for you guys. So if you could just tell me a little bit about the application process, because when international students are looking at the postgraduate options, or indeed the undergraduate options, I think some people want to know about what the first step is. So can you tell me about what that first step was? How did you find the application process, and how did you apply to the university?
Yes, it was quite actually a very simple process. So there was an application form, and then I just filled it and then sent it over. Like the process time was also very fast. Like I actually got a reply in a week, and yeah. So then I had 2 interviews scheduled, for one by the academic tutor and one by the international compliance team for visa assistance. And then, yeah, so it went really quick, and it was just in a span of 2 weeks that I could complete the entire process. And then I got conditional offer letter as soon as everything was done.
So once you got that conditional offer, which for those who may not be aware, the conditional offer gives students, or lays out what the students applied for, what conditions they must meet in order to come and enroll at the university. So it tells you all the things you need to do, like pay your deposit, send in English language qualifications through, demonstrate your bank statements, have the visa preparation support session. So you found that process really easy. And if you had any questions about how to meet the conditions of your offer in order to get your visa, if you had any questions, did you find that you could ask people about?
Yes, it was very very quick and very easy, because if I had any doubts, I had queries regarding my bank in terms of deposit and how it has to go about, and then the team really helped me in terms of so this is the process, and they have guided me throughout, and yeah.
So when you say the team, you mean the India office, or the international team?
International
really
team,
good to
yeah.
hear. That's really good to hear. And what about yourself, Sonos? So how did you find the application process? Because it's worth noting that it's different from country to country. So although students can apply directly through our university website, we have different ways of applying through agents, through overseas offices, which we have in India. We have a representative in the Middle East, for example. So yeah, how did you find the application process?
Well, the first thing was actually trying to find the course name that represents what I want to study, because there's a lot of variety in one specific area or one specific field. So once I got that covered, I just finished my application, and the process was, I agree, it was really fast and it was really quick. Maybe what took time was me deciding and finishing more paperwork. But regarding the process itself, I finished my application, sent it to my agent, and he really was the person finishing all what we call the dirty work. He was finishing all the big stuff that I don't need to worry about, answering the emails and everything, and he was just sending me small shots of what I need to do next and what's the next step. So it was really easy, really clean process. It was good, and I didn't get to have that anxiety while finishing my stuff.
Of course,
Yeah.
because it's very, when students progress from undergraduate to postgraduate, obviously they're completing their examinations, they might not need the extra stress, so it's good that the agents that you worked with were really useful. So apart from knowing the details about the application process and understanding the regulations behind the visa, so the Tier 4 visa, when coming to study in the UK, did the agent help you with any other aspect of the university? Did they tell you about the university? Did they help you in any other ways with the application process?
Yeah, considering the university, they actually told me a lot about the university. They told me a lot about the city itself. They tried to link me with other people that they have traveled here to give me a one-on-one experience, what they did here, how did it go.
Because we work with agents across the, globally in a lot of different countries, certainly the countries where we have nationalities of students who've enrolled at the university. We work with the best agents who can give, excuse me, the best information about coming to the University of Sunderland. So it's good to know that they're giving some positive feedback to you about applying to the university. That's great. And what about yourself?
Yeah,
Saka?
so for me it was as mentioned, the agent really helped me in terms of the application process. Just suggested me, okay, these are the things that you need to prepare for, and these are the things that they expect from you. And that was simple, and yeah, so it was quite easy.
Okay, so now we're going to chat about your courses. So Sakath, you do the a business course, the MBA with placements. Sondos, you do an English course here at the university. So how are you finding your courses? I'll start with you, Sondos.
They're pretty interesting because before I came here, I opened the courses online. I wanted to know the topics I was gonna study because English is such a broad area, and I didn't know specifically what it was going to be about. And it was pretty interesting from the get-go. I'm doing old literature, Gothic, Victorian, so it's very interesting, and it's a pretty great area to study different books, different literature types, poetry, small books, short stories. So it's been really, really interesting, and it's already popping into my mind what I want to do about my thesis. It's giving me a lot of ideas. I'm brainstorming already, so it's been really, really nice.
Some really good ideas. And so what about your English? And I guess that's to each of you. So how's your English improved? Has it improved, first of all, coming to the UK? So, because I think some people, there's different ways of studying now. There's independent distance learning courses, which we have here at the university. We have transnational education courses, where our courses are taught in the person's home country, so abroad. So what's it like coming to the university in England and in the United Kingdom and speaking English? Has it improved your English?
Yeah, it has. To be honest, for the first few days, I did not understand a word from what was going on around me. It was very hard to grasp the accent.
So you're familiar with the Macam accent now?
Yeah.
That's good to know. What about you, Sakath? Have you found that your English has improved and you're getting to explore the language a lot more as well?
Yeah, actually, yes. So doing business, right? So you are actually trying to get the presentation skills and trying to negotiate and stuff. So actually trying to pick up the accent though. So yeah, it's quite improving my English here.
Good,
yeah.
challenging.
Yeah, it's quite challenging as well.
And of course, English is a real business language, so multinational companies, certainly here in the UK, but globally as well, back in India, back in Egypt, it gives you opportunities to improve your English, to have that as an asset when you look for graduate jobs as well. What about yourself, Sakath? I haven't asked you about your course. So how are you finding the course and the modules and?
Yeah, it's very interesting because when I was applying, right, so I just went through the modules in the website itself. So I was okay, let me take this because it's quite interesting and challenging at the same time because you're going to improve your business knowledge and skills in terms to to real life scenario. And then it is more of practical learning here because at every class we are going to it's going to be divided into 2 hours. Basically, the first hour we are going to present and we're going to actually present our skills in terms of presentations, and we are going to explain our own knowledge. And then the second half is going to be moderated by the lecturer, and then it takes forward.
I mean, that's something you mentioned about the practical element of it, but what we try and do as an institution is make sure that we provide students with those practical opportunities. So certainly it helps in business and indeed other subjects as well, but giving students the opportunity to do practical internships or placements like you're doing, or something which is going to really build their CV. We have Sunderland Futures, which I'm sure you're aware of, which is a department at the university which allows students to go and really look into what will enhance their CV and enhance their resume, because we want our graduates to get some really good opportunities here, not just in terms of providing an education and providing a certificate, but also some practical stuff which will give them a really good job after university as well. And that's what the university is really proud to do with its students. And what about the academics on each of your courses? How have you found the staff, teaching the different modules and the relationship you have with them? Has that been good and positive?
Yeah, they're very, very friendly and very helping in terms of, okay, if you would not understand anything, you can actually go back and then like, all right, so this is where you need to more focus on, and this is where you need to improve. So the staff's really amazing.
That's really good to hear. And what about yourself, Sonas? Have you found a similar experience or?
Yeah, it's been honestly similar a bit to back home. Like, yeah, because back home in my university, we still had like the professors or the doctors themselves, they gave the lectures. So it's similar as here. But I agree, they're really, really friendly. They're willing to, like, if you're willing to improve, they're very happy to help you improve. They're very happy to tell you what you need to do, what you don't need to do. And they're very sympathetic that you're not from here. So they're very, like, helpful. They want you to feel like it's okay, that you're not going to not fail, but you're up to the standard of what you're doing, not because you're not British, that you're not going to be able to do it. So there's really a push of positivity. And it's helped me like feel like not overwhelmed, feel like everything's going to be fine. So it's really helped.
That's really good to hear, really good to hear. Okay, so we talked about coming to the UK, how you applied to Sunderland, the academic side of things as well. What's it like to live here? That's what I want to know. I want to know, you come from different parts of the world. Brian, you've obviously you've been a student here. You come from Nigeria, and you've had the experience of Wales as well, of being an international student who's come to Sunderland.
You can literally walk around everywhere. You don't need to get the bus. So if you're into fitness and walking, this is the place for you. You don't need to just walk. Everything is close by. The weather, it's not that nice all the time, but it's good. It's a lovely, nice place.
What about yourself, Sonas? Have you found any particular thing of Sunderland you like?
Well, coming from an artistic background, to me, like, the natural scenery is everything. I've been photographing since I came here. It's like one of the places that I've taken so much photography in. Everywhere I go, there either the old churches or the coast, like you said, the river, the bridge that we pass by. Everything, honestly, is very, very beautiful. And yeah, it is. And it's like, you feel like it's an old city that's small, but at the same time, it's up to date. I agree, walking around everywhere is amazing, because around probably the rest of the UK, if you go to London, if you go to Manchester, so you have to go by commute. Everything is so far away.
As an international office, we have access to the Students' Union's sports and societies as well. So we went down to the Sunderland Marina, took advantage of all the water sports there, because you've got sea kayaking, you've got paddle boarding, you've got open water swimming if you're into that sort of thing. There's really some great opportunities to do different things, which is, try new things as well,
Also,
which is great.
one other thing that people don't really talk about, I think, is the fact that you get the best of both worlds, because Sunderland is right next to Newcastle.
Yeah.
And Newcastle is like, if you want to party, it's 24 hours, you can go there. It's a busy city, it's like staying right next to London in a way. So if you want the quietness in Sunderland, and it's all connected, 10 minutes on the metro.
Exactly, and of course we haven't mentioned, but getting here as well, you have the Tyne and Wear Metro, which is connected to the Newcastle Airport, which is the nearest airport as well. So that's something which is really useful about it. Because Sunderland is an affordable location, not just in terms of tuition fees, but in terms of cost of living, for accommodation, for different things around the city centre, for transportation. They have a little bit more disposable income, they have a little bit more money to do different things on a weekend, whether it's to go and explore Alnwick Castle and go and see different things that to do with Harry Potter, or to go to Edinburgh or go to London. Then there are those great things to do as well, which is good. When you come to the UK, it might be different from what you'd expect at home, so that may cause some home feelings of homesick and being homesick. So how have you dealt with that? I mean, Brian, perhaps you can tell us about, first of all, your experience of coming to the UK as an international student, and then I guess what support networks have been put in place at this Sunderland Students' Union to help with that.
Well, I think that's why we, our logo, our saying, our values is literally your place, your course, your voice, and you. So it's literally all around you. So you get that sense of belonging, no homesickness, and we have to cope with that. So joining societies, having an SU buddy, coming to the SU socials, taking part in our volunteering opportunities and all that stuff is a way, to build your own kind of networks and meet new people, socialize. Then you don't feel as if you're not at home, because it's literally making you feel at home, So I think, that's kind of a way to deal with homesickness, I guess.
And what about yourself, Sundas?
Video chats. They're doing everything nowadays. But yeah, I agree. I have my sister here, but because we have like different courses, so our timetables don't really collide. They actually collide. But I mean, we still like try to find time to have the sense of being here together, but still having like the different experiences, because she's an undergraduate.
And yourself, Saketh, how have you find it?
Yeah, personally, I don't feel homesick because I don't know why.
Are you enjoying it too much?
Yeah, it's quite busy, and I'm very well occupied with a lot of things here.
What's there to do in Sunderland on a weekend? Brian, I'll go with you. Start with your Friday night.
I don't really go. I used to go out when I was in first year. Since I've finished uni, I don't really go out. I just focus on going to the gym, fitness. Yeah, and also maybe time to time I'll go play football. But apart from that, I just like to chill now, because I did all the partying and everything.
You're over that?
I'm over it.
And what about, so that would be throughout the weekend, football, gym. What about the cinema? Do you go?
Yeah, the cinema is good. On a Tuesday, you get a discount if you're a student. So if you go with your ID from the uni, you get a discount. So it's good to go on Tuesdays. You can go for food. It's quite good. The cinema. What else? What do they call that? Winter Gardens.
Yeah.
It's a good place to go as well.
Sanders, what about yourself?
I agree. It's just a relaxing weekend to me, because still it's like a postgraduate degree to me, so I'm not really into the partying kind of mood. But I try, if I have a weekend with not such a big load of work, I try to travel. Because I have a friend in London, so it's easy to just go pop there, stay at her house, and then come back for the weekend. So I've been trying to do that. I'm trying to dedicate my weekends to traveling different places.
What are your future plans after university? I'll start with you, Saketh. So you complete your placement, obviously get the experience and the qualification which comes with that. What are your plans for after graduating?
Yeah, so for me, I would want to work a couple of more years for hands-on experience on how business work. And then I would try and go back to India and implement in my own business. So I would want to focus on hospitality sector, because that's more booming right now. And that's where I see interest towards. And so I would want to actually take all these skills and experiences back to India and try implementing in my businesses. Yeah.
Really good. Sanders, what about yourself?
Well, my plan is to go back home. I'm trying to get into the university teaching field.
Very
Yeah. So this is one plan, and I'm trying to implement my art studies as well. Yeah. So I'm trying to juggle a little bit of both, but mainly the university teaching plan, and then on the side I'm gonna do my arts.
Excellent. So of course you've got the careers and employability services to help with anything you need to do to enhance your CV. We have, as international students, you also have access to graduate opportunities, and there is an international section on that, promoting international opportunities for our students. So if you haven't done so already, then have a look at that. We have our alumni network as well. So when you graduate, you'll have access to speak to fellow alumni, and that creates job opportunities, which I think's excellent and something to look into. So if you could sum up your experience of studying at the University of Sunderland, what would it be? I'll start with you, Sandra.
I would say illuminating. It's a big word, but integrating my studying and trying to work on my arts, like I told you, photography, and trying to just focus on myself, improving myself. It's been an eye-opener kind of experience so far. I've been here for almost 6 months, and it's been a roller coaster of emotions, of experience, of the classes and going back and forth. So I'm really looking forward for the rest of the year. looking forward to try new stuff, to go to new places. So it's been really encouraging to me.
Because I imagine when you came, when you first made the decision to come to study in the UK and to come to Sunderland, you probably never thought that all this time later that you'd have a degree, you know, you've got the opportunities that you've had with the Students' Union.
When I came, I was actually 17, so I came out at a young age. But to me, the homesickness wasn't really a big thing because I went to boarding school, so I've always been away from home, and I don't really mind being away from home. So I came at a really young age, and I was just thinking, come out, be free, party. But it's gone a nice way. I kind of like the way it's been. So yeah,
very good.
It's good, yeah.
Excellent.
Good experience.
Okay, so Brian, can you tell me about the some of the services that you offer at the University of Sunderland Students' Union and the advice services in particular?
Yeah, so we have a free and confidential advice services, and I think it's really good, especially if you're international students, because we get a lot of international students coming through the door, and then you get here, but you've not sorted your accommodation out, and then you get in all this problem with the landlord trying to pay rent and all this deposit problems. So if you make use of our advice services, we always give you that information.
When, as you'll know, when you come to the university, a lot of students will want to know about the accommodation that we have. We have accommodation on campus. You're staying at Clenny House. You're both staying at Clenny House. We have accommodation which has private bathrooms as well, which is on the banks of the River Wear, which is really beautiful. So Pans Bank and Scotia Quay. So whatever someone's looking for in terms of accommodation, whether it's close to the city campus or the St. Peter's campus, then we have a variety of different accommodations available. But if anybody wants to look for the value for money accommodation in the city centre as well, then the Students' Union is the best place to go. So we can recommend which landlords to work with. So Keth, what one bit of advice would you give to a student coming to the University of Sunderland?
Yes, you need to take steps that are out of your comfort zone. So, you need to take part in a lot of activities, and you need to be open towards everyone. So, you become friendly, and yeah.
Excellent. And Sonas, what about you? What one bit of advice would you offer to a student coming to the University of Sunderland?
Embrace it, because university experience is completely different from getting out of school. You're getting independent, even if you already live here, but you're still away from your home, from your parents. You're getting independent. You're understanding how to live your own life. You're discovering yourself at some point. So I'd say, try to enjoy that experience. Try to get everything out of it, the fun part, the good parts, the bad parts, the academics, because once you're done with university, life afterwards is completely different. So this is a part where you get to discover yourself and understand your surroundings, so try to embrace that.
Really good. And Brian, what about yourself?
I'll say don't come just for the degree. University is really all about experience.
Okay, so I think that's a good place to end there. So thank you very much to Brian, Sundas and Keth for joining us today. I hope you've all found it useful. I certainly have found it very useful to hear all your points of view, and certainly from Brian to hear about the different services that the Students' Union offers to international students. So thank you all for joining us. So if your question hasn't been answered, the details of the Student Helpline team are on screen now. So thank you very much for watching today, and goodbye.